Supervisor Internets, and welcome to episode 2 of Gravel Circuit Time Trial, where today I have a replica of the modern Honda Civic Type R. There, you'll see it in all its glory. It has become chrome. I don't know why. This car just spawned twice in chrome, and I don't think there's too much I could do about it. But anyway, we will get going. And for once I actually forgot the car had a good old-fashioned manual, because I just assumed this would have some fancy-pantsy modern dual-clutch transmission, but it actually doesn't have that. It has just a regular manual and, whoa, 300 horsepower through the front wheels. That is intense. But hey, it did slow down and use it into the corners. This is quite a nice vehicle to drive, actually. And remember, from what I've said before, front-wheel drive seeming to be the preferable driveline. Mind that crossover thing that scared me between the episode 1 and 2. I recorded one of those and yeah, that was scary. It was 2400 horsepower, so will it be able to beat that? I honestly think it will be able to, but it's really up in the air whether it will or not. I have to say, for something with firmly sprung supports kind of suspension though, it's not actually doing half bad. I think the suspension would deal far worse than it is, and I so almost racked the front end on something in a painful way. Whoa, second gear. It just shifted into neutral. Like, I don't know why cars do that, but in this game, unless you're going really particularly slow, it won't shift into first. I'm not sure if it's a safety feature or something to stop you damaging the hardware. It is possible, I guess. Come on. We'll slow it down here. We actually did grab first gear and we're steering right, but that's fine. Whoa. A bit more bumping there than I would like. This is ESC off, by the way, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner. So it's not like I'm cheating. It is genuinely driven as it comes, and it just feels so nicely balanced. I do really like this car. Come on. The thing is, it is going to get jumped around and bumped around, but underneath all that jumping and bumping, there is actually a very finely tuned vehicle. I mean, the person who uploaded this, he said they were doing a lot to try and get this as accurate as possible to the wheel Type R. Oh dear. Rightio. Reverse, where are you? I think we might have some problems. We're not on the second lap yet, so I'm just gonna try and find an angle to just check over the car. Sorry about this. Oh dear. The car is very quick. But undoubtedly, I'm not going to get a quicker lap, so I might as well give up here. It's a shame, you know. I did at least get a lap out of it. I can say that much. It's a 111.055, which puts it below the Audis Quattro and above my V6 twin-turbo sports car thing. So it's not done bad by any means. We have beaten the economy cars at least. But it's just, it could do so much better if only I hadn't thrown it off. And on to the next vehicle, I guess we could say. Here we have something labelled purely as the 3,250 horsepower car. I just honestly looked on the respiratory and this popped up. And I couldn't really refuse when you've got a car with over 3,000 horsepower and massive turbos by the looks of it. How many cylinders is that? Looks like a V8 under there. Pushrod rear suspension and probably double wishbone front. So at least they vaguely know what they're doing. They've not just put some leaf springs on the back. But you know, I don't know how this thing is going to drive, so it sounds like a fighter jet is about to take off, and then I get no ESC, so I can only hope and pray that this thing will drive well. I mean, will it beat the Civic? Probably not. The Civic, although it only got one lap, it was a very good car, so the one lap kind of counted quite well. Yeah, I'm just keeping this in the lag. The good thing about cars with this much power is there's so much lag, you never feel like you're being forced into 550, for example, horsepower just from nothing. There's always a build-up, and I can just go light on my far right pedal if I have to, and it won't go mad on me and try and bite my arm off. Oh, come on. Oh, this is very, very firm. I can feel it. It may even be on semi-slicks. But I don't know what driveline it's got. If it's got all-wheel drive of some kind, that might make it half controllable as well. I'm pretty sure it is, because it doesn't feel like it's spinning up the rear wheels too much. Either that is a very good front-wheel drive. Come on! I could go 80 miles per hour there, sorry, but I have to slow it down. I slowed down a bit early, if I'm entirely honest. I could have slowed down a bit later. But again, it's about what chances you can actually get away with taking. Remember the Civic? Don't try taking chances if you don't know you can't get away with them. I didn't really do that with the Civic. I was pretty sure I could get away with it, but I just couldn't. And as it turns out, that car suffered as a result of it. So what time are we saying? If I get a chance to look, I'll probably look. But again, this much power. Ooh, 109. That is definitely a good time. So if I can shave some time off on this second one, we are going to be looking at a very, very fast car. And for something that I don't believe to be front-wheel drive, it should be very good. Right. We've got to go, keep it to this side, floor it, because this is probably going to be our best lap, so even if I mess up the third lap. Yeah, I suspected something like that could happen. Where am I going? I'm on another part of the course, oh dear. Right, the car has enough fight left into it, though, to complete another lap, so I'm going to do such, you know. It's not like the Civic where it's taken out of commission. I just knew that second lap, though, was going to be my fastest, so I had to, could have at least been my fastest, so I had to just push it, you know. I saw a chance, and I had to go for it. It's hard to explain. Maybe you'd call it impulsive, but I was either going to do it on the second lap or do it on the third lap, and I don't, sorry. Oh no, I'm basically doing what calling with this thing? Right, this is where you go now. No, come on. It is a little broken on the front, I won't deny that. But this is surprisingly tough. I mean, yes, as well, the automation vehicles are ridiculously tough. But you have to remember, it's got 3,250 horsepower, and I threw it across the line at who knows what kinds of speeds, and it just took it. At 106.584. Now, where does that put it on our leaderboard? It is actually first place, not by very much, but it is a first place victory. So, hey, my impulsive ways may have just paid off in achieving that time. Come on. Oh, bubble, bubble. Yeah, I can tell this is going to be a slow lap. Was it ever going to be quicker than the second lap, though? The second lap was virtually perfect, which, again, why I push it on the end, when a lap is virtually perfect and can't be improved upon. Just, you could try drifting cars. I wouldn't try drifting this car. It's too much power to feel safe about drifting. Yeah, we have a new leader. So, it's by within half a second, actually, of the not Ford K. I mean, wow. Having looked at it, that Ford, though, with an Audi I mean, not Ford, sorry. Totally not a Ford, with totally not an Audi engine in it, is surprising me. And it can hold off a 3,000 plus horsepower supercar, almost. And that is impressive. Even more so impressive, though, is this vehicle. On to the next car. So the next car we have... Just listen to that V6. It's kind of a car you've seen before, but at the same time it isn't. This is the naturally aspirated rear-wheel drive version of my junior supercar. So I believe 1600 kilograms rear-wheel drive and about 380 horsepower to the 560-ish all-wheel drive 1700 horsepower version we had before. I've just decided it would be interesting to see how my kind of entry-level version would do. We have to turn ESC off to begin with, which I failed badly at. Whoa, come on. It's clear that it's rear-wheel drive. Oh, rear-wheel drive is so clear from the beginning. I don't believe we're going to beat the higher performance version, which is kind of a point of having a higher performance version. It's faster. I believe that also had... Well, I believe that actually had narrower rear tyres, but wider fronts due to its all-wheel drive nature, making it work that way. So, yeah, they're vehicles for two fundamentally very closely related vehicles. They are so different. The reason I chose a V6 actually in the first place was packaging reasons as well. I'll mention that now. I've probably mentioned it before with the other car, but yeah, inline sixes are nicer engines, but a V6 in this kind of sports car, it's a very well packaged engine. It's a 3.7 litre engine, by the way. I think I mentioned 380 horsepower for a naturally aspirated engine. Very good. I can't remember what kind of miles per gallon it's making. Well, come on. I can't for the life of me realise how I saved that without spinning it. Oh, come on. It lifted the rear wheel. Oh yes, we got some grip. And all of a sudden it starts weaving as the tyres at the back struggle to grip. I think it's sport soft on this, but I could be wrong. Doing all kinds of wheel movements to try and keep this under control. Manual second gear now. Right, slow it down first, that's okay. Yes. Delicately shift up and then floor it just a bit. Down first, hopefully. Come on. Delicately. I could have accelerated around that corner a bit more than I did, but I didn't want to push it. I wanted to do what I knew I could get away with. And this is actually, weird as it sounds, it's more scary than driving that 3,250 horsepower car, driving this 380 horsepower kind of junior supercar. Mind it is exhilarating at the same time. They also not carbon ceramics on this because it is, remember, a cheaper car. So we've got vented discs, I think, front, and maybe regular discs rear. Over this bump we can go. Yes, along you go. Ooh, 114. We're catching up. If we get a good third lap out of it, we can actually catch up with the all-wheel drive version, I would say. As I go to the inside quite a bit there. Come on. This is on very low sport suspension, I believe, the same as the other version, although there is more tyre sidewall, which will be very useful on a course like this at absorbing the terrain. Come on, round you go. Come on, down to first again, round it, up to second. I think if we can hold second. Come on. I really feel something special is happening on this one. If I beat the other version, who's to say? It would be down to my skill, I guess, because the other vehicle is, I guess, superior in the hands of an underskilled driver. I have no skill, though, so what's that going to say? Buy the cheaper version of the car, because it's honestly better. Really, I think it might be. Come on, accelerate. Nothing to lose. 111. Oh, that sounds vicious, but 111.759. It is just above it. It's within a second, but we have beaten the all-wheel drive version of the same car with more power. That is ridiculous. I mean, I suspected it could be the case, though, because I just couldn't use all the power of that all-wheel drive vehicle. Whereas this, although it has less power, I'm able to use more of that power. It's a very linear powertrain, being a naturally aspirated engine. Rear-wheel drive, perhaps not preferable, but it's got enough grip in its tail end to keep it under control. If I turned ABS off, I think it's clear this would be the losing car, but since ABS is allowed, I know this is the winner now. That was a very interesting result, though. Both cars are very close, but yeah, if this was some kind of road test, they would say, just don't buy the expensive car. It's not worth it. It's less fuel efficient, and it's a lot more to buy. Anyway, on to the next vehicle. So our next vehicle is the Satsuma Cardinal, which is kind of a Japanese luxury car. And it's got transverse 3.8 litre V8 and front wheel drive. So yes, my kind of craziness. Anyway, I don't need to go over this too much because I think that the most crucial details are already established here. You know, I believe it's an open differential though as well. I'll mention that now since I weren't messing around with it. It did appear to be the case. Although again, I could be wrong. As I really throw it over there. The V8 should make this fairly refined. It shouldn't be too jumpy on the power. It should, as it is also a naturally aspirated engine, but it does only make about 200 horsepower, so I don't go expecting fireworks and like fly towards the trees, but thankfully just save it. I'm doing some real rugged off-roading in this. I'm staying kind of to the edge of a course unintentionally. And I think if I can manage to learn this, it's just getting used to the understeer after I had the slightly jiggly rear end of the sports car I was driving. It's a very, very strange phenomenon. So I have to expect not to steer completely, if that makes sense. But then with this car, you actually do. You use a lot more lock to get the same amount of cornering. It's just the way the cars are. I'm not trying to fault either approach, and come on. I'm sorry, I know that was a terrible, terrible line to take, but the vehicle is just understeering so much I couldn't think what to do. I think I'm just not expecting it as well. I'm expecting like 130 horsepower levels from this. I'm not expecting it to behave like a 200 horsepower car would behave. So that doesn't necessarily help. I'm going a little wide, but that's okay actually. Just about holding it in where I need to hold it. Second lap it seems to be going better than the first lap. Full lock here as I kind of ride the wall around, but that's okay. We have to make compromises to deal with the fact that these cars don't always deliver perfect performance. It does seem a little lumpy over the bumps, but nothing that's particularly going to worry me. It's got enough traction, it's got enough stability that I don't feel like I don't trust it, is all I'm saying. Oh, I ran very close to that rock there. Come on, along we go. And slow into this corner. Come on. Really? Thankfully, that bush just said, like, no, you're going over. But as far as actual damage goes, it looks fine. Come on. Don't let the bushes get you down. It is an automatic, as you can probably tell, though. That's not making me very engaged around these corners. It's kind of at odds, though, because the V8 is a sporty engine configuration, at least in the right vehicle. And the front-wheel drive in this car, which is probably not a stupidly heavy car, by the way, will make... What was I saying? The horsepower output in this car, which is probably not stupidly heavy, will make it kind of feel sporty, but then you have an automatic transmission, and it stops the fun there, even though fundamentally, there's not a bad platform. Come on. I don't know what the third lap's going to be. I kind of suspect it's going to be worse than the third lap, if I'm entirely honest, due to the fact that I walled on the second lap. It's just that one corner gets me. The first lap I got incredibly lucky in being able to go around the bush. Come on. Floor it. Right, if I lift off, not too much accelerator, now I floor it. Yeah, 1:13, was it? It was better than my first lap, okay. That was a very good lap, because I didn't go off, particularly. But it's still 1:13.8. So the Satsuma Cardinal sits at a 1 minute 13.841. However, just above it, and I mean just above it, at 1:13.8 on the spot is the rental car I built. Given that this car is a lot older than that, it's not too bad, although that was still an inline 3-powered thing. Disappointingly, most of all, it was beaten by a Leguan base. However, it does gain some revival in that this is a pure automatic transmission car. So, you know, that will have been holding it back a little. So, I guess it could use that. It did beat Cedric, at least, you know. It's not embarrassed by a 60s front-wheel drive. So, on to the next vehicle, because I've got nothing else to say. Here we have a visually surprisingly accurate Volkswagen Jetta Highline. I mean, it honestly actually looks like something Volkswagen Audi Group would make. So, on the design front, it's very well done. However, let's see how it'll do. It does make about 210 horsepower. And it is now launching without the ESC because I somehow managed to turn it off. And believe me, I realised this car has a manual mode. Well, it took me time to realise, but I did eventually realise it had a manual mode. So now I should be able to gain some good time with it. Even if it is just paddle shift manual, believe me, this is better than the automatic the Cardinal had. And this might not be a luxury car. It might just have a turbo 4-cylinder, but that manual mode will really help me, and it may even set an incredibly fast time, because we're seeing power isn't everything around this course. If a car is well tuned and well built, that will mean far more than a car just having power. And I guess weight as well could play a role. Probably why Cedric manages a half-decent time despite being such a underpowered vehicle. Come on. Oh dear. Help. That wasn't the button I thought it was when I tried to change a view. Right. Wait. So... Again, thankfully, I don't think this is one of those mechanical problems. We are doing a 1-tyre spin, though. This lap is thrown away, yes, but I don't believe the entire run is run away. I believe we still have... Do the lights work? I'm sorry, I'm just covered in intrigue now. And I'm pressing M. M doesn't turn lights on in Beam Engine. I need to remember that. So, manual... Gearbox modes. Wait, thankfully, we're fine to run, as the vehicle is not entirely broken. Now I just have to remember, don't do anything stupid on the second lap, because that's where my time will have to be made. Or the third lap, possibly, but moreover, I want to get a good second lap. This does not respond to bumps that well, though. The Not Ford K was also in the same ballpark, so I'm not saying it's not going to be quick, it's just, it doesn't feel nice over them. I mean, maybe it's more accurate in terms of exterior design than it is in terms of actual mechanicals, but if that's the case, then so be it, because it will have to slow it down for this corner. And we'll get along. Come on. I wasn't giving it for full power just back there because I knew it would go wrong. 210 horsepower, it might not be the 3250 horsepower we've seen from a certain car today, but it is still a decent amount of power, and if you do misuse that power, let's say, you can throw your vehicle off. Yes, come on, this way. Yes, that was very good over that jump. Have we set a good time? Trying to check, and I'm not really sure. I was like 1:57. Wait, is that amazingly quick? No, it's not. I'm just misreading it. I thought it was like a 0:57. 1:08 isn't bad though. 1:08. If we can improve on that time. Yes, come on. Grip. Keeping it in the power band, hopefully. Shift down to first, full steering lock, as you generally do there. I think I'm getting the hang of it now, at least. I feel like this third lap, I am really utilising the car to its best of its abilities, as that had potential to go wrong there when it was going onto the right-hand wheels there. I felt I could have really messed something up. Oh. Third gear. Come on. Yes, I'm flooring it. I've got to slow it down. I don't want to end up in the bushes. And along we go. 1:07.875. I wouldn't say that's disappointing. 1:07.875 puts it into third position. So yes, we have beaten the 2400 horsepower crossover. I mean, I knew it stood a chance. I didn't know the Jetta was going to be that quick. So yes, slightly scared of how fast an average Jetta saloon is from the 2010s. I move you on to the next vehicle. Let's borrow Fleetari's Ferndale. So it is. This is a car out of my summer car, in case you haven't realised as of yet. It has 190 horsepower and a 4-speed automatic, in this one at least, even though apparently it's a 3-speed in the My Summer Car game. I don't get it. Anyway, let's go. So, yep, I was just being stupid there. I was thinking I hadn't checked the transmission before, maybe there was a manual mode or something. There isn't. It's just a full automatic, as I guess you would expect. Come on, Ferndale. You will be able to go and set a new lap record, possibly. This is nice, actually. I will say that now. Having driven that Gavwell Cruiser, where there was just far too much oversteer, this feels like a car should. There's perhaps a lack of grip, given the engine's horsepower. However, it does grip, and whoa! I say it does grip. It does have grip, and you can get going. 190 horsepower isn't the most, but it feels like it's got a solid enough amount of torque to supplement that. Whoa! Got to balance out with the wheel as it was steering a bit by itself under power. Don't want that to happen too much. Ooh, I saw a weird bit of chassis flex there. Or, no, not chassis flex, would you call it that? It depends if it's a unitary or not. Could be a body on frame, which is body flex. So, on we go. Round here. Ooh, yep. I'll just call it body flex. Yeah, as we go over bumps. A little disconcerting. A 122 for a starting lap. It might seem slow, but believe me, that really isn't. Considering what we could have done, as I just came through some bushes there, and surprisingly unscathed, actually. They can sometimes catch you out, but I guess I got lucky there. Got a brake. The brakes aren't too bad, but you really have to know when to brake. You have to brake early if you want them to work for you. But they do get the job done if you are considerate to them, that they are old brakes, and they're not like modern brakes where you can just brake ultra late and have it slow down for you. Come on. Oh yes. Is this an acceleration point? Yes, looks like one to me. As I go wide, but that's okay. Oh! I'm hitting all kinds of things at the back of the car, but that's okay, because I'm getting away with it. It's not my car after all, it's Flitari's. As long as we can cover it up with duct tape, we should be okay. Come on, and then I'm going to floor it over here. 115. It's not the quickest car in the world. If I can extract a bit more speed out of it here. Come on. Yeah, maybe that was better than before. I don't know. It felt slightly less dreadful around that corner than it was before. For something with so little power, though, it is holding its own on a leaderboard, I would say. For something with such a lesser powered V8. Because we have to remember that's what it is. It's fundamentally the muscle car no one wanted, which is why it was exported to Finland. Because, you know, they're not going to give... America's not going to give away all their ultra high-end engines, are they? But the lower-end V8s, sure, you can have one of them. We don't really care about those engines. To us, they're just the equivalent of a 1.6 litre diesel. They're everywhere. And on we go. Come on. Accelerate, accelerate. Right, I'm going to floor it all the way through here. If I can, no, I have to lift. Oh, come on. I got greedy. Sorry. I hope Flatari doesn't notice. Just ditch his car here. Whoa. That really scared me there, that bush. I thought it was like an animal creeping up on the back of the car or something. Although there's not animals in BeamNG, I really did think it was that. Right, I am going to get you across the finish line. I've just wrecked Flatari's car. It was actually in good condition when it was in the bush. That's probably the worst point of all to make. Come on. Whoa! YOLO! Wait, it's body on frame. I've learned something today. I've basically replicated my summer car here. You can't argue with that now, can you? Come on. It's not my car. But if you got it back in this condition, you know, things would happen. I think it's safe to assume. Come on. This way. Try and get around that side. I got greedy with my speed on the third lap, but the second lap was easily good enough, so I could afford to do such and just hope it went well. I mean, you know, what else? I've got to measure the time. Come on. Is that where I want to be? Ooh. Look at what I did to Flatari's car. Oh dear. Sorry, poor Ferndale. Yeah. It is a 115, which puts it just above Cedric Mark 1. Yes. Maybe not the best competition to have, but hey, it's not been beaten by Cedric. I mean, you know, I would call that a victory on the muscle car's behalf, because you can't really have your muscle car beaten by a far lesser vehicle. But anyway, I think for today, I've had a decent selection of vehicles. So, yeah, it's interesting to see the leaderboard evolve. Anyway, until next week, goodbye, until another day.